Now that you have had a chance to explore what cloud computing is, the pricing structure and the billing practices available with Google Cloud, and the ways that Google strives to make the platform secure and environmentally friendly, let's now work to understand the functional structure of Google Cloud. In this section of the course, we will see how resources get organized with projects and how access to those resources gets shared with the right part of a workforce through a tool called Identity and Access Management, or IAM. We will also look into different ways in which you can interact with Google Cloud, including Google's web user interface, command line interface, and Google's mobile applications. Now we will begin with the Google Cloud resource hierarchy. Imagine trying to manage a billions files without a single folder. It would be chaos, right? The same applies to the cloud. You cannot build a secure empire on a shaky foundation. To be a cloud architect, you must understand the functional structure of Google Cloud. Hey, I am Amit. In this module, we are moving past the basics. We are going to learn how resources are organized. Resources are hierarchical. This hierarchy made up of 4 levels. Starting from the bottom up, they are resources, projects, folders, and an organization node. So at the first level are resources. This represents virtual machines, cloud storage, virtual private networks, tables in BigQuery, or anything else in the Google Cloud. Now resources get organized into projects which sit on the second level. So these resources will be organized by the projects. Means under this project, these resources will be allocated. Now projects can be organized into folders or even subfolders. So these sit at the third level. Means under this folder we have so many projects. Under each projects we have so many resources. Okay, so from this projects also there will be many resources we can allocate. So this is the concepts of this hierarchical architecture. And then come the top level, organization node, which encompasses all the projects, folders, and resources in the organization. Because under the organization there will be many folders, and under each folders there will be many projects, and under each projects there will be many resources. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. It is important to understand this resource hierarchy as it is directly related to how policies are managed and applied when using Google Cloud, because resource hierarchy determines policies, and policies can be defined at the project, folder, and organization node level. Some Google Cloud services allow policies to be applied to individual resources too. Policies are also inherited downward. This means that if you apply a policy to a folder, it will also apply to all the projects within that folder. Like if you apply any policies to this folder, it will by default will be applied to all the projects under this folder. Okay, now let's spend a little more time on the second level of the resource hierarchy, that is projects. Now projects are the basis for enabling and using Google Cloud services, like managing APIs, enabling billing, adding and removing collaborators, and enabling other Google services. Each project is a separate compartment, and each resource belongs to exactly one project. Projects can have different owners and users as they are built and managed separately. Each Google Cloud project has 3 identifying attributes which you have to remember. These 3 attributes are a project ID, a project name, and a project number. Now what is this project ID? A project ID is a globally unique identifier. Okay, so this is globally unique, means in the whole world there will be single means unique project ID of your project. So this project ID is a globally unique identifier assigned by Google, and that cannot be changed. They are immutable after creation. Okay, so the project IDs are used in different contexts to inform Google Cloud of the exact project to work with. Now the project names. The project names, however, are user created. They don't have to be unique, and they can be changed at any time. So they are not immutable. Okay, so it is not unique. It is chosen by you, and it is mutable. Google Cloud also assigns each project a unique project number. It's helpful to know that these Google generated numbers exist, but we won't explore them much in this course. They are mainly used internally by Google Cloud to keep track of the resources. So this project number is also globally unique, and it is assigned by Google Cloud, and this is also immutable. So how is one expected to manage projects? Google Cloud has the resource manager tool designed to programmatically help to do just that. It's an API that can gather a list of all projects associated with an account and create new projects, update existing projects, and also delete projects. So it can even recover projects that were previously deleted and can be accessed through the RPC API and the REST API. Now the third level of Google Cloud resource hierarchy is folders. Folders let you assign policies to resources at a level of granularity you choose. The projects and subfolders in a folder contain resources that inherit policies and permissions assigned to that folder. A folder can contain projects, other folders, or a combination of both. So in this picture you can see there are folders. So if I apply any policies to this folder and also permissions assigned to that folder, it will be inherited by the resources. It will get it from the projects, and projects will get it from the folder. Okay, you can use folders to group projects under an organization in a hierarchy. So folders allow you to group resources on a per department basis. For example, your organization might contain multiple departments, each with its own set of Google Cloud resources. Now folders allow you to group these resources on a per department basis. Means folders give teams the ability to delegate administrative rights so that they can work independently. Like this is your organization, and you have these three departments in your organization. One is law, one is finance, one is academics. Okay, so each department you can group up with the folders, different folders under the same organization, and each folders will be given some set of policies that will different from each other. Means that will be different among these departments, so that each department can work independently. As previously mentioned, the resources in a folder inherit policies and permissions from that folder. For example, if you have two different projects that are administrated by the same team, you can put policies into a common folder so they have the same permissions. Doing it other way, putting duplicate copies of those policies on both projects could be tedious and error prone, right? So if you needed to change permissions on both resources, you'd now have to do that in two places instead of just one. Like we have these two different projects, okay, and these two different projects are maintained by the same team, so they need the same policies, right? So we can put these two projects into one folder, and the same policies will be automatically applied to these two projects. So if you need to change permissions from the both projects, you just need to do that from single place, that is only in this folder. To use folders, you must have an organization node, which is the very topmost resource in the Google Cloud hierarchy. Everything else attached to that account goes under this node, which includes projects, folders, and other resources. There are some special roles associated with this top level organization node. For example, you can designate an organization policy administrator so that only people with privilege can change policies. You can also assign a project creator role, which is a great way to control who can create projects and therefore who can spend money. So how do you create an organization node? In part, the answer depends on whether your company is also a Google Workspace customer. If you have a Workspace domain, Google Cloud projects will automatically belong to your organization node. Otherwise, you can use Cloud Identity, Google's Identity, Access, application and endpoint management platform to create one. When you get a new organization node, it lets anyone in the domain create projects and billing accounts just as they could before. That's to avoid surprises and disruptions. After you have an organization node, you can create folders underneath it and put projects into it. Both folders and projects are considered to be the children of the organization node. Now that you have built the house, you need to decide who gets the keys, who is allowed to enter, and who is allowed to cook, and who is allowed to renovate. In the next video, we will dive into identity and access management, that is IAM, the principles, roles, and permissions. This is where the real security begins. Subscribe and hit the bell, and I will see you in the IAM deep dive. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching. If you want this course with more hands-on practice and lab works, join my community. The link is given below in the description box. See you there. I am waiting for you.